Need life insurance? Taking the first step is easy. Start your quote now.
Here today, we have the EK Water Blocks Fluid Gaming, what the heck's it called? Vanquish 295, I believe it is? Yes, nailed it. It's water cooled. Well, of course it's water cooled, it's EK, but she's really friggin' powerful. Yeah, budget build right here. Only, you know, the least rich Saudi princes buy this one. You go into Dubai with this thing and they're just like, oh, damn it. You got the EK Fluid Gaming? What the hell are you even doing? I don't even think it has SLI 3090s, so like, we get a tube, presumably for filling. Oh, draining actually, it says it right there. All of the other cables that would come with your power supply, I guess it's an EVGA one. And 2.5-inch drive bays. Everyone's favorite way to open these. Oh, heck yeah. Oh, yeah. That is sex spec right there. Yeah, one thing to note is that it did not come pre-filled. Our logistics guys did that for us. I'm pretty sure that it was really easy though, because they have just like a fill port right there and a drain port down there if you ever want to take the fluid out. And that way you don't have to worry about like, things move around a lot in shipping. So if you couldn't tell, this is based off of a Lee & Lee 011D. In my opinion, it's basically one of the best computer cases on the market right now. It has cool things like the ability to put 2 power supplies in it if you're debauer. And it also has such a good setup for custom water cooling, and EK has taken full advantage of that. Now, what you normally don't get in an 011D is this frigging incredible distribution block and reservoir and pump combo that they have up here. Now, you do get these fairly small hardline tubes.
Oh.
I think those are like 10 mils. Oh, wow. Yeah, it looks like that something unpleasant happened to this in shipping. You can see a little bow right here. Yeah, the box looks pretty good. Let's turn this on just to figure out exactly how this flows. Oh, there we go. That's a good sploosh right there. No leaking that I can see. Okay, and now we know for sure that the way that I thought it was going to flow, it actually does. There's a little spinny wheel here that shows us that the water is actually flowing. Pumps here, goes out into the GPU, down into here, and then across into the CPU, comes back in here into radiator 1, which looks like a 240, then into radiator 2, which is a 360, and then it comes back into the big old reservoir right here, which I imagine is going to have absolutely no trouble cooling this thing. Like, just this 360, probably totally fine for the system. Chucked in the 240 there as well, and she's real good to go. So like, we have an X570 Prime as the motherboard here. You could technically have like a Crosshair or like a Strix Gaming E, which would be better, but at the same time, I highly doubt it's going to give you any actual more performance. RTX 3090, fastest GPU you can get. I guess you could put 2 of them in here, but in the vast majority of cases, one is going to be just as fast, if not faster. As for the CPU, Ryzen 9 5950X, fastest CPU on the market. That's kind of just how she goes. 64 gigabytes of 3200, I believe it's C16, but they didn't say memory from G.Skill. And to round the whole thing out, you get a 970 EVO, so they could have gone for the 980, which does support PCIe 4.0, but at the same time, you can't really saturate PCI 3.0, so it doesn't super matter. And in the back here, we have a 4TB hard drive for all of your games. From the front, I would say that the cable management is exceptional for a pre-build. This one right here, I guess if I was to really complain, could be marginally better, but only marginally. This is really well done. It just looks really sick. Okay, so the timings on this RAM is C16, 18, 18, 38, which is pretty good, I believe. I'm not a RAM overclocking kind of person because it's always a terrible time, but if that's your jam, I imagine this stuff does pretty good. Where they might be hiding some badness though is in the back. I guess if the airflow goes sucking in through here and in through the bottom, and then exhausting through the radiator at the top, which is actually a pretty smart way to do it. So this is a 1000 watt EVGA Supernova G5. It's just a fantastic power supply. Take a look here. Oh, that's really quite well done for like Then finally, you can see the hard drive is right here. One thing that's nice that they did do is there is another SATA connector already placed right there. So if you want to chuck in another hard drive, it's already basically ran. You do have to put a SATA cable down. Now, the final kind of janky thing that they did is the motherboard does not support Wi-Fi, but they threw in an MSI Wi-Fi card. I don't know why they do that. Like, it's the sort of thing where it doesn't matter. This Wi-Fi card's probably better than onboard Wi-Fi. Overall though, like, this thing is just exceptionally well done. Like, you expect it. It's, you know, a $6,000 gaming PC. But again, I've seen pretty stupid stuff in very expensive pre-builds before, so good job, EK. I want to play some games on it, just like I want to make John happy with this segue to our sponsor, PIA. Private Internet Access is a VPN that allows you to access services and websites as if you're in a different country. It encrypts all of your internet traffic and uses a safe, protected IP. Connect to up to 10 devices at once with clients for Windows, macOS, Android, iOS, and Linux. Buy a one-year plan for $39.95 using the link in the video description. All right, we got it all set up, and this is my favorite part. That's luxurious right there. Oh! Now, that was a fantastic peel, but what's not as appealing is the fact that they used a DDC pump in this. It should have a D5. There's no reason it should have a DDC. It's this big. DDCs suck. D5s are good. Come on, EK, you know this. What's up? I don't think this is EK's fault, but that's not good. Yeah, reboot time, excellent, but what the heck happened there? Let's see here, let's boot up Doom Eternal again, and hopefully we don't get a blue screen. Okay, Doom Eternal opened. We're not even in the game. Oh, what? What is this? Why? Oh, something might be broken. Okay, I have no clue why the blue screens were happening. Okay, so with Doom just open, we're just idling with CPU temp in the mid-50s. And the GPU also in the mid-50s. That's good for now, but let's see how good we go here. All right, we're looking at above 200 FPS for sure. Overall though, unsurprisingly, a 3090 is delivering excellent gaming performance. Something's weird with this system. So earlier today, I was using basically this exact same config, so 5950X and a 3090 in a case that was about this big, that was using mostly EK's stuff. And it was being cooled better than this, despite the fact that this should be better in basically every single way. Yeah, maybe they overclocked it from the factory. Oh, okay, yeah. They had auto overclocking enabled, so that's probably what did it. So never mind. System's working great. It was just overclocked and I didn't know. Let's do this again. You had me scared there, EK. So the CPU's already gotten above 80 degrees. Something's wrong with this computer. Something's terribly wrong. I genuinely don't think it's EK's fault. We saw clearly that it was damaged in shipping. Like, the bottom in here is pretty mangled. I don't know what's going on without totally taking it apart, but oh, that's disappointing. This thing's so freaking cool. It's legitimately like one of the coolest computers that I have ever unboxed. Like, you just look at it. It's freaking awesome. I'm sorry, EK, none of this was your fault. You built an awesome system and it got damaged. I really hope that we get another one in at some point in time that's not broken, or we can fix this one. We almost definitely can. Like, I'm not worried about that. Get subscribed. Have a great old day. See ya.
Through Teams, we were able to launch a new beach cruiser. It was called the Lemonade Coast.
Everybody was working somewhere remote, yet we were able to bring a new product to market in 2.5 weeks. Record-breaking time for us.
When life hands you lemons, you make lemonade.
Feels weird picking it up. The legacy of that shield is complicated, to say the least.
That shield should be destroyed. This world is ours. You're never gonna stop.
It's the closest thing I've got left to a family.
I'm not gonna let anybody tell me I can't fight for it.
Now streaming on Disney Plus, and upgrade to the Disney Bundle for even more.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another hardware news recap for the week. In this one, we have a really dense episode. We'll be talking about the AMD Warhol rumors and Zen 3 Plus / Ryzen 6000 rumors from previously. Talking about the Ethereum mining efficiency reductions and NVIDIA's increased limiters, including new GPU silicon that is supposed to be hardware limited for mining. We'll also be going over DDR5 at 10,000 megahertz goals, Intel finding itself on Mars, and a couple of other things. Before that, this video is brought to you by EVGA's new keyboards. EVGA's new Z20 and Z15 RGB optical mechanical gaming keyboards have abundant RGB LEDs and programmable macro keys on the left side of the keyboard. They also have a sensor to detect and turn on the LEDs when you're in front of the keyboard and turn them off when distant, offering a unique feature for keyboards. The keyboard claims a 0.5 millisecond response time and 100 million keystroke lifespan. Learn more at the link in the description below. So first up, last time we talked about NVIDIA limiting the mining hash rate, it was related to the RTX 3060 launch. And this was a troubled attempt at limiting mining. So NVIDIA basically put in a driver plus firmware level limitation on the hash rate, where it was supposed to cut the hash rate in half. And there were a couple of false stories saying, oh, it's been hacked already. But actually what had happened was people were using the cards to mine other things at the full hash rate, but not Ethereum, and that was a key differentiator. Then NVIDIA owned itself and launched the driver branch with a bypass in place, and at that point you can't put that can of worms away. It's done. So that was the story up until now. What's happening now, though, is it looks like NVIDIA is attempting this again, except this time there are some hardware identifiers on GPU silicon that have been popping up in photos online. Typically you'll see a piece of silicon might be labeled something like GA106- something, 400, 300, whatever. But now there's a 2 appended to there. So it might be 302, 402, something like that. And that 2, if the rumors are to be believed, identifies that the GPU is part of an LHR, or light hash rate, version of GPUs. It's supposed to be a physical hardware limitation on these cards that, in theory, will be more difficult to bypass if NVIDIA doesn't release some sort of key to unlock it by accident. And this looks to be like NVIDIA trying to get more CMP sales. Maybe they're trying to buy some goodwill in the community, a little bit late for that at this point. But more realistically, NVIDIA is going for an increase in sales of its new CMP mining line of GPUs, and specifically, we think, is trying.
Interesting. Hi. Hi. Yeah? Sleepy? Never knew it was all right for you to leave me like that. Huh. Interesting. Wow, okay. Oh, I just found, let's see, big boss. What? Game. You can get some more water. I'll be right back. Ah!
City.
Ah, that was a cool fight. Where are you, Baby Chi?
What, baby?
Where are you? Exiting?
Yeah.
Okay.
seek it, then touch the deep soul of the mind, key to life's ether. Soul of the lost, withdrawn from its vessel. Let strength be granted so the world might be mended. Art thou finished? May thy strength help the world be mended. Then touch the soul of the mind, key to life's ether. I shall await thy return, slayer of demons. I am here for thee, and thee alone.
Yeah. You hold me home? Hmm. Okay.
withdrawn from its vessel. Let strength be granted so the world art may thy strength.
Let's trade your souls. Do come back alive.
Hello again. I'm keeping a close watch. You have a heart of gold.
King Alant led Bola to noble Alfred and the brave today Valafat. All the red Bolatari perhaps.
Oh yeah, dragon. That's it. What's down here? Oh. Huh. Okay. White Tennessee is almost full.
It's with your souls. You come back alive.
Hello again. I'm keeping a close watch. You have a heart of gold.
I'm supposed to draw? Oh. Whoa.
trying to limit the damage that will be done to its next series launch, the 4000 series, by reducing the amount of used cards in the market. Again, a little bit late on that, but if they can reduce another 6 months of GPU purchasing for miners that will later become used secondhand cards for gamers, then NVIDIA is helping itself because it will increase the sales of the next product if it decreases the secondhand sales of the current product. And we saw this last time with the RTX 20 series launch, where especially because RTX games didn't exist for nearly 2 months after the launch of the cards named RTX, but also because of the price and because of the flooding of the secondhand market, people were buying a lot of 10 series. And so it hurt the sales performance of the 20 series, and NVIDIA doesn't see any revenue from secondhand sales. So like how games publishers and console makers don't really want secondhand sales of their products via GameStonk, the limitations NVIDIA is putting in place, in theory, would help it with a reduction of the flood of GPUs to the secondhand market. So that's part one of the story. Basically, NVIDIA is once again attempting to limit the mining performance, this time though perhaps with a doubled down effort on it. Meanwhile, the Ethereum cryptocurrency has once again claimed that it will, for reals this time, move to proof of stake from proof of work. Proof of work, i.e. mining, is supposed to be phased out. The Ethereum project is saying by end of year 2021, there will be reductions in the incentive to mine by July of 2021 in theory. Ethereum, to be clear, this has been stated for years and years at this point. I remember reporting on this when it was stated probably in 2017 or 18. Last time there was a big surge in GPU demand by miners, but it is being said again. Maybe this time it's going to happen. Either way, any mining thereafter, after Ethereum pushes for a move to proof of stake, which frankly we don't really understand too much because we're not into crypto, but it is a move away from GPU mining as we know it today. As Ethereum pushes towards that, the usefulness of mining would be mostly relegated to any alternative cryptocurrencies other than Ethereum, and certainly not Bitcoin, which is Bitcoin's basically ASIC only at this point. So ultimately, if Ethereum becomes unworthwhile to mine, there might be another flood of cards to the secondhand market, and maybe that'll be a little bit of an indirect easing of the demand versus supply situation. So that's the news on that front of things. About that AMD Warhol rumor, that's up next. So this past week, the internet got a bit crazy with a certain rumor that claimed that AMD had canceled its alleged Warhol CPUs. Previously, there were various rumor and leak sites that attempted to connect this leaked slide of Warhol appearing to Zen 3 Plus and to a Ryzen 6000 series. So that was based on a slide that hit the internet some time back. It's old news at this point. In actual fact, there was never any leak, from what we understand, of first-party information pertaining specifically to the phrases Zen 3 Plus and Ryzen 6000. Warhol, it sounds like, from what we understand, is a real AMD thing, but there wasn't anything critical to connect it to those other two buzzwords, and that's the key differentiator here. So, in speaking with our contacts off record, of course, so we can't name people, but Warhol's existence is different from the story that has been fabricated on the internet. It sounds like one of our contacts directly described it as, quote, creating their own rumor and then canceling it. AMD hasn't had any public Zen 3 Plus mentions, and from what we've seen, it hasn't had any non-public mentions either that were legitimate. So the suggestion here is that Warhol might be a thing, but it may have been linked by non-AMD entities to the other stories of Zen 3 Plus and Ryzen 6000. So it's a rumor born of a rumor that was negated by the community, basically. This is a non-story, is what we're saying. Next one, DDR5, 10,000 megahertz, future goals, and for the more immediate hits, looking at timings of 40, 40, 40, not abnormal for moving to a new DDR standard. DDR5 DRAM production is continuing apace. It's been an emerging community. Micron, SK Hynix, and Samsung have all talked about DDR5 at this point, and then partners like Team and Crucial have been talking about their own first attempts at DDR5 modules. The recent reports we're seeing are now indicating that major module makers in China, so specifically that'd be Jiahe Jinwei and NetAC, are ready for mass production of DDR5 memory. Jiahe Jinwei shared photos of its first DDR5 modules using Micron DDR5 ICs, And the company also showed off both single and double-sided modules, with the single-sided DDR5 module coming in at 16 gigabytes and the double-sided module offering 32 gigabytes. Of course, there will be many other versions later, but these are early samples. Both of these will run at 1.1 volts. That is per the new JEDEC DDR5 standard. JEDEC is the standards body for DDR. And the first DDR5 modules from Jiahe Jingwei will run at 4800 megahertz with timings of 40, 40, 40. In the same vein, NetAC is also using Micron memory for its first DDR5 modules, and according to its press releases and news announcements, it has readied single-sided 16 gigabyte modules that also run at 4800 and 1.1 volts. The timings are the same at 40, 40, 40. Should the mild starting frequency of early DDR5 have you disappointed, keep in mind again that some of these companies like NetAC have already stated sights on DDR5 at 10,000 megahertz in the future. And if you haven't been through a DDR switchover cycle in the past, typically the way it works is the first round of memory will underperform versus the most recent round of the previous memory. So when we switched from 3 to 4, the high-end DDR3 memory was about at pace or better than the low-end DDR4 memory. And of course, the pricing made it really not make a lot of sense to move to DDR4 immediately if you didn't know a specific reason to move to DDR4. Server companies would be an example of an instance where it does make sense to switch quickly. Additional images of DDR5 4800 modules from Crucial were spotted in the past week. So DDR5 4800 seems to be basically the starting point for DDR5, but development and research will move quickly ahead. JEDEC's DDR5 SDRAM standard tops out at DDR5 6400 right now, but just like we've seen with DDR4, there will be many memory kits that scale well beyond that as the technology matures. If you've ever wondered who uses Intel's Atom CPUs, the answer is apparently NASA. That's right, Intel announced early last week that NASA is using 2 of its Atom-based CPUs in its new Perseverance lander, a $2.7 billion machine that's currently roving around on Mars. And friend of the site and writer at PC World, Gordon Ma-Un, probably put it to the best. He's a brilliant writer and a fun interview guest. Gordon, in his write-up on PC World, said the following, quote, Intel's underpowered Atom CPU has finally found some respect on Mars. The lowly chip had a tough time on Earth, winning the faintest of praise for its pedestrian performance. But its energy-sipping ways were apparently a good fit for a couple of compute modules that NASA built into its $2.7 billion Perseverance rover, wrote Gordon. At this point, of course, we're looking forward to the crypto forensics reports that show activity on the blockchain and mining from another planet. We'd assume that's what they're doing with them. What else would you do? It's cold up there. So this is genuinely, it's an interesting story. It's an impressive use of Intel Silicon. And there's another adjoining piece here. So CompuLab is providing NASA with 2 of its COMX IE38 computer on module, or COM products, which is a type of single board computer. It uses Intel's Bay Trail Atom E3800, and Intel's Bay Trail SoCs are based on Intel's 22 nanometer process using its Silvermont microarchitecture. The COMX IE38 boards power 2 data storage units, or DSUs, that handle all of the raw data coming from Perseverance's 23 cameras. The data is then compressed by the IE38 modules before being transferred to a 480 gigabyte SSD via Ethernet link, where it waits to be beamed back to NASA. According to CompuLab's vice president, CompuLab, quote, had no idea that its products were being used to help power the lander. A nice surprise, probably. They just knew that NASA had bought a couple of COMX IE38 boards. Up next, Microsoft, addressing a couple of issues relating to Windows 10 updates impacting gaming performance. So this month, Microsoft rolled out a pair of Windows 10 updates that impacted some users' gaming performance. It caused frame rate drops and crashes as well. And the updates in question are the KB ending number 1330, and this is far too fitting to be true. This can't be true. And the KB ending number 1337 updates. Why? Why Microsoft? For Windows 10. So that's version 2004, and it is mostly targeted for security fixes. According to Microsoft, quote, a small subset of users have reported lower than expected performance in games after installing this update. Most users affected by this issue are running games full screen or borderless windowed mode, and using 2 or more monitors. Microsoft's guidance that it suggested for fixing the issue for now is to use the new Known Issue Rollback, or KIR feature. KIR is a new feature that rolled out broadly last month and allows for reverting back to a previously known stable code for non-security related bugs and issues. And of course, note that a restart may still be required. Up next, the Linux Foundation in the news. We reported on this last week, but there's been a development of the story. So the University of Minnesota was banned from contributing to the Linux kernel thanks to a couple of students who were doing research for their graduate projects. And this ban was handed down by Greg Kroah-Hartman. Now, though, the entire university got banned, as we reported, but the Linux developers over at the Linux Foundation have outlined some very specific actions that the school needs to take if it's ever to be welcomed back. ZDNet has obtained the letter from Mike Dolan, the Linux Foundation's Senior VP and General Manager of Projects, that discusses the incident and what needs to happen next. It reads, quote, "Please provide to the public in an expedited manner all information necessary to identify all proposals of known vulnerable code from any U of MN experiment. The information should include the name of each targeted software, the commit information, purported name of the proposer, email address, date, time, subject, and/or code, so that all software developers can quickly identify such proposals and potentially take remedial action for such experiments." If you're out of the loop on what's going on, the title of this paper would probably give it away. So it's, quote, "On the feasibility of stealthily introducing vulnerabilities to open source software via commit." So Dolan wants this to be withdrawn, quote, "From formal publication and formal presentation, all research work based on this or similar research where people appear to have been experimented on without their prior consent. Leaving archival information posted on the internet is fine, as they are mostly already public, but there should be no research credit for such works." This comes after last week there was another quote from a Linux developer who commented that it's similar to cutting the brake lines on cars in a shopping center parking lot to see how safe it would be. So basically, brilliant idea to research something everyone's thought about for decades at this point, of the security of software that is in fact open source, done on a project which is mission critical for a lot of people. So the end result is that the Linux Foundation and Greg Kroah-Hartman seem to think it's unethical, and we don't disagree, and that it's being experimented on. Finally, Dolan asked that the University of Minnesota take care to, quote, "ensure that all future IRB reviews of proposed experiments on people will normally ensure the consent of those being experimented on per usual research norms and laws." As of now, the school hasn't responded with a plan of action. Up next, AMD recently announced its Q1 2021 earnings, and as one might expect, they were very healthy. AMD is currently selling every piece of CPU and GPU silicon that it can produce, and as a result, the company notched another record quarter, bringing in a total of $3.45 billion. That figure represents a massive 93% year-over-year jump, where AMD earned $1.7 billion for Q1 2020. The star of the show here is AMD's computing and graphics segment, with a quarterly revenue of $2.1 billion, a 46% year-over-year leap, and strong revenue earnings overall. As a reminder, computing and graphics would include the desktop CPU and GPU segments, but it does not differentiate between CPU and GPU, so we don't know which one's performing the best, although it's probably CPU. AMD's strong revenue earnings here are, of course, driven by huge demand for Ryzen and Radeon products, and AMD noted that its client processor ASP, or average selling price, grew both year-over-year and quarter-over-quarter thanks to a stronger mix of Ryzen desktop and notebook sales. The same is also true for AMD's Radeon GPUs, as AMD has seen an increase in its GPU ASP thanks to demand for its high-end Radeon offerings. We previously said it would likely take a couple of quarters to see the effects of AMD's semi-custom sales for the new Xbox and PlayStation consoles. Well, we're getting an idea now. AMD's enterprise, embedded, and semi-custom segment brought in $1.35 billion for the quarter, a massive 286% year-over-year increase. These numbers were driven by high semi-custom sales. The consoles from both Sony and Microsoft would be part of those sales. It also was driven by EPYC processor sales. In the subsequent earnings call, Dr. Lisa Su touched on a couple of points. Su pointed out that AMD's Radeon 6000 series sales have more than doubled quarter over quarter, and that AMD is moving to ramp production as we head into quarter 2 2021. That said, AMD expects GPU supply to be a bit better next quarter, which is certainly promising to hear. Last week, we reported on the arrival of a new cryptocurrency called Chia. Yes, really. And it's a storage-based cryptocurrency that promises to be more energy efficient to the extent that they've somewhat cringily released a green paper instead of a white paper. And it plans to process the network on hard drive space. Chia is specifically calling this farming instead of mining, and is talking about seeding storage space. And this is also partly created by the inventor of BitTorrent, by the way. So Chia uses a proof of what they call time-space model for the cryptocurrency, as opposed to proof of work, for example, with GPUs. And ahead of Chia landing on currency exchanges and becoming tradable, we mentioned how users in some parts of the world, particularly in Asia right now, were already in a situation where storage and the price of storage was sailing upwards. There's potentially a concern here for a shortage of storage-based products in the future. A week or so later now, and things... aren't exactly better. According to a report from Digitimes, AData has notched a 500% increase in SSD sales throughout the month of April. Digitimes also reports that the run on storage is starting to spill outside of Asia. AData told Digitimes that it's currently seeing orders at a rate of 400 to 500% higher than last month. And it credits the demand to Chia mining, or farming, or whatever. Rising SSD prices, however, aren't solely related to Chia. We're also in the middle of an SSD controller shortage due to other silicon shortages. Additionally, Chia is already on its way to killing warranties for SSDs, much like how Ethereum mining is slowly eroding GPU warranties. Galax China has posted a warning on its website alerting prospective Chia farmers that, sounds so silly, that using Galax SSDs for Chia mining and farming, where the read and write volume far exceeds what Galax considers standard use, will void the warranty. Fear not, however, because greed does breed innovation. There's now a new 32 SATA port motherboard. You can plug the drive straight into the board. No cables needed. So that exists now. Okay, let's go to the next story. The Game Developers Conference is preparing to kick off in full force over the summer, with dates set for July 19th to 23rd. This year, ahead of GDC 2021, the Game Developers Survey polled 3,000 game developers on topics such as developing games remotely and related game delays to that, alongside what platforms are of the most interest to developers. This survey is pretty interesting because it is specifically targeting game developers, so we get to learn a little bit about what's happening within the industry. Regarding the pandemic-related delays, 44% of the polled developers said that a game they were working on suffered a delay specifically as a result from working from home or other measures related to that. Interestingly, the results also showed a large percentage of studios still growing in spite of last year, with a 47% grouping of those saying that staff had expanded in the last year. On the topic of revenue sharing and digital storms, looking at too many SIs lately, on the topic of digital stores and revenue sharing, the amount of developers who approve of the traditional 30-70 revenue split, with the store getting 30 in the case of Steam, for example, the amount of developers in favor of that is rapidly shrinking. It's down to 3% saying they're in favor or support a 30-70 split versus 6% last year, neither particularly high, but it's still a massive reduction. Now, this coincides with a recent trend of major storefronts cutting back on their revenue sharing policy. For instance, Google will start taking 15% from games that have generated less than $1 million on the Google Play Store. Similarly, Apple has also reduced its cut to 15% for games who have earned less than $1 million on the App Store. In both the case of Google and Apple, the cut goes back to 30% after a game crosses the $1 million threshold. Epic Games by far leads the way here with a flat 12% cut regardless of the game's earnings. Epic has also introduced a number of other more developer-friendly practices, such as guaranteed minimums. We recently discussed just how much that's costing Epic Games, where the company is, as one would expect with a new endeavor, losing money on its Epic Games store. This is something that came to light thanks to the current lawsuit with Apple, but it's not particularly surprising information. Most companies will lose money on a new endeavor. Either way, though, they're spending a lot on this and can also afford it, thanks to Fortnite primarily. So Steam, at this point, seems to be among the last storefronts that is holding a 30-70 split, but with enough peer pressure in the industry, that may change at some point. The survey also highlights that the PS5 and PC are the top platforms for developers to be working on right now. For consoles, 44% of those polled said they were most interested in developing for the PS5. There was a group of 38% interested in the Nintendo Switch for development, with the Xbox Series X and S trailing a bit behind at 30%. And additionally, the PC is the leading gaming platform by developer choice and interest at 58%. And
Hello again. I'm keeping a close watch.
I drinking.
Water.
That suspiciously looks like vodka.
I don't have vodka.
Mm.
Brandon. I'll call you back.
Okay.
Camera's not working.
Yeah.
I'm at my camera. I think it's working now. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
What are you up to?
Facebook.
Okay. What makes you happy?
What you doing, Billy?
Oh. Right.
Baby, what you doing?
I'm moving my furniture around.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna turn you on mute.
Okay.
Can you turn me on mute too?
Okay.
Yeesh. Thank you.
Okay.
You know, I'm actually not a big fan of the pants. I like Barbie's outfit just because it definitely stands out. It definitely pops. She fits it. I don't like. I don't like the print. It looks like a photo. Yeah. Okay. At tour, the Barbie girl, she was super out there. It was just like, okay, that's a little too much for me. You know, but normally, like, it's like attractive to things that are the aesthetic of Bruce's outfit is a lot better than Barbie's. I would say so. Really? I think the one kind of is. Yeah, I get it. I saw her tweet, and I was kind of like, I didn't think she was in it. I thought she was part of like, yeah, it's getting like a teacher kind of vibe. It's too much times. I just couldn't get into it. Like, she could have added, like, such stuff. Yeah, like, that's the vibes. So, like, it fits the vibe totally, and I understand what I'm going for. It's crazy. It's very cool. I would definitely think that she's going to direct years. I'm a fan. I feel like they have to say that. Yeah, that goes. I think it looks like white vest. Yeah, like, out of everybody, yeah. Well, I said white vest. All the guys that love white vests and like, get it, but it also seemed like it was missing a little something. I was different. I was different too. That's me too. be a lot of good blood pressure. Oh shit, reminds me of it's Harley Quinn. That's what I was trying to think of the whole time. Yeah, I think is it Are you guys cool with that? Yeah. I like this. Yeah, at least the same way.
So I kind of thought like she called like sort of like she's way too much like I'm surprised. Short buzz hair, I dress like a skater boy, and now that I'm Swiss, I'm starting to style. I get criticized now on the other side of the spectrum. Yo, you're too masculine, and now it's almost oh, you're too feminine. I would have liked to place higher, but at the same time, really if I placed last, if I had a girl that like, but there's a certain amount of people that I really relate to, and I just work solid characters rather than trying to approach everyone. Amen. I shouldn't be upset because at the end of the day, as long as you're happy and super confident, go ahead and do your day. I think that's it. Yeah, and it's like we're all wired. You know, we're all creating like the best of the best of the outfit. Everyone in that like I want to, and then everyone wants to doing this. I feel like you probably like blow themselves with cigars. Like maybe like a very like expensive vibe. When you hear best dressed, obviously a guy from the oh I'm gonna have a suit. It's just a little bit predictable for me. Hey guys, so I know a lot of you have been asking about my hand washing routine, and I just wanted to go over kind of what I do. People ask yeah, people ask me about it.
They're trolling me.
No, dude, I'm an influencer. What? Hey everyone, so asked me about that foundation of my story earlier. It is really good. Obviously I am on my third bottle now. It is expensive, it's £500. So what's the price for?
£500.
Yeah?
Foundation. You could use it.
Yeah?
Yeah?
All the time? Serious? So a lot of you guys have been asking for my everyday makeup routine, and I think I'm gonna make a video and just show you guys how I do it. Why do you keep looking at me? I'm making a video. A lot of people have been asking me. Can you stop? I get to start all over. Anyway, so hey guys, I'm gonna. Thanks for asking It says we're recording everyone.
Hello again. I'm keeping
Anyway,
a
so yeah, I'll start off with the dubious passport makeup. That's down, that's putting on the skin. So we use the dark tilbury night cream. It's actually quite expensive. But I use that at night time. And in the mornings I use Dermalogica face wash and skin softening. Yeah, I just thought I'd do this video because you would have asked me. Just in the video because people have asked me what I use for my skin.
Right, so here we are. That's obviously quite expensive. Give it a big one.
What do you mean?
I use this so-and-so, and it's quite expensive. Think about it. You know. What's she doing there?
What am I doing with it?
Oh, no, but
Hi guys, forgive me about my
Hello again. I'm keeping a close watch.
So, hi guys. I know a lot of you have been asking about. No.
Hello again. I'm keeping a close watch.
Hi guys. I know a lot of you have been asking me. What kind of skincare routine I do, so I just thought I would do a quick video. Well, Jake, what are you doing? You're ruining my video. The followers have asked me for this. It's...
Do you think of Instagram?
No interest, I can tell you. Not going
the last 50,000 so desperate. I went to trade to every God really helped me. Helped me to everything. Which now I think about it, glad that happened. Because if I never lose anything, I would have been so blinded by money. Wouldn't have stepped out of where I am. I'm Raymond, I'm 33, I'm married, happy.
Just throw them overhead. Never say we went out. Never went out there, but never hit them. You never hit the child. You know, it's not all they can. They can what make them, but kids can make themselves. We've all been kids. You were the first style.
How do you say cake?
Asian landlord just put me this book. Put the chopstick on top of the pot when it's right, so it doesn't overcook. My Asian landlord has a PhD. She always liked her sexuality. This is wrong. Turkey, perfect, by 1.5 minutes sharp. Until the juice is dark red. We some juices out. Put a few drops on the glass. The juice sample was then to the rear of the cell, then become less powerful. Try to look at the juice under the microscope. Tell me a cold recipe that you can't present and come back to make. I go first. In the past, I always had chicken wings deep fried, until one day my Asian mother told me. Grill the wings briefly until golden, food for a wok. This is all quickly until golden. Make sure to use the coat.
Hey, yo. Hold that.
Lay down.
我已来试试微影变身。
I live on Svalbard, which is an island close to the North Pole, and right now we have a polar night. With
My property, I'm gonna call the cops!
What's going on?
Hey, girl, hey.
What are you?
Wait, no, okay, I get it. This is come on in.
This here.
Realize you'll have to divorce your husband if he ever shaves his face.
My mom said she doesn't listen to. She's still determined to keep me up to date with.
Hey, aren't you gonna jump in?
Hi. How much for the hats? What is one?
여기요. 신분증 좀 봅시다.
So.
Medium coffee.
A couple's touch when they're fasting? Well, it depends. What kind of touch? Should we touch on this? Okay. Are we allowed to say yes? Sure. Can we hug? Okay. Are we allowed to kiss? Well, there's a difference in opinion on any touch. Wait, so I guess physical intimacy is not allowed then, right? No. Did you always cover your face? No, we didn't. You start when you were a child? No. Did you start when you were an adult? No. You start when you were at puberty? No. So when you...
I started with 15. I started both and then at the same time. It's funny because did you have an arranged marriage?
No.
So did you have a love marriage?
Yes.
Did you date?
No.
What was that possible?
Back into this. How to dust your fan blades without the mess. Take a pillowcase, wrap it around tight. Pull back slowly, ensuring all the dust stays inside. How to remove hair buildup from a brush. Let it soak in warm water and shampoo for an hour, then take a toothpick and easily pull all the hair out. Once the hair is all gone, rinse underwater and let it dry. How to clean your AirPods. Q-tip, untap, alcohol, and paper towel. Take a toothpick. Remove the buildup along the edges. Next, take a thumbtack, roll it into a ball. With the intent, 12-year-old Ethan is preparing for his...
Ezeket a kutyától, meg ezt is, ezeket meg az anyukától, ezeket meg az anyukától. Úgy kaptam, és ezek az anyukámnél voltak, mikor ő is.
Baby.
Ő az anyukám. És én is tőle kaptam.
Baby. You're gonna mute me. Oh, you didn't mute. By the way, did you get a package? I think Jackie gave you a package. Is it, okay. Okay.
No.
Package?
Yeah.
No? Yeah?
No.
No? Should be a
Yeah.
package in your name.
Yeah.
Okay.
What you sent me?
No, I shipped it to the wrong address.
Oh, I don't care. You get you something and you have to.
Did you get something? Then you should give me something too.
No. It doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard about double standard?
Yeah, you're full of it.
Yeah. And no.
Thank you, baby. Thank you, baby. Okay, I'm rearranging my room. I'll be right back. Yeah, this one needs repair. Mute me. Mute me. Thank you.
Believe they could have selected multiple of these to explain the percentages. Cloudflare up next. Cloudflare is preparing to battle Sable Networks over a patent infringement lawsuit. We bring this up because Cloudflare, much like Newegg in the past, has a certain fervor and enthusiasm for fighting against the patent trolls. Plus, patent litigation has been something of a recurring theme for the past few weeks. This marks the second time that Cloudflare will have to contend with the patent infringement lawsuit. The last time it was Blackbird Technologies that sued Cloudflare. And Cloudflare not only won the lawsuit, but went to full-on scorched earth against Blackbird. It's kind of insane. It started Project Django, in which it crowdsourced with paid bounties an effort to find prior art for patents held by its opponent, Blackbird Technologies. It then published prior art for a huge swath of those patents, which will benefit anyone who ends up in a lawsuit with Blackbird in the future, and functionally sets up the stage to invalidate the patents held by Blackbird. That's what the prior art statements are for. Cloudflare didn't stop there, though. It also went after the lawyers behind Blackbird Technologies on the grounds of violating legal ethics rules. The end result, as Cloudflare puts it, was that, quote, Blackbird Technologies went from being one of the most prolific patent trolls in the United States to shrinking its staff and filing many fewer cases. Now, Cloudflare is gearing up to do it all over again. Sable Networks is using patents that are 20 years old at this point in a string of lawsuits against several companies, Cloudflare included. The patents originate from Caspian Networks, which was once a router company. According to Cloudflare, Sable Networks is using 4 patents filed between 2000 and 2004 that are based on Caspian's flow-based routing technology. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Cloudflare certainly has a bit of an entertaining approach to dealing with these types of cases, so it might be a while before we hear an update, but it's a good one to follow. In other news this week, Google added a search bar to Stadia. That's right, Google, the search engine company, to the extent that just Google has become global vernacular, they've added a search bar to Stadia. So it's not dead yet. And also, Microsoft is saying it's game. So Microsoft said that it's intending for Halo Infinite to be a, quote, premier PC experience, which is something you don't hear too often in PC development. And in a post over at Xbox Wire, Microsoft doubled down on what it calls a player-first approach to PC. The company said, quote, we have been working closely with the PC community to ensure that Halo Infinite offers a premier experience, including highly desired features such as support for ultra-wide and super ultra-wide screens. Also triple keybind, a wide variety of advanced graphics options, and more. We want to make sure that Halo is serving the PC community. Microsoft also said it wants to meet gamers wherever they want to download the games. So it's planning to offer the games on Steam, Xbox Game Pass, or some other storefront. And additionally, it's working on what it calls more developer-friendly practices. So these would include a reworking of the revenue split, and it's pushing for a 12-88 split. 12% for Microsoft, 88% for the developer. That would be following Epic Games' example. So Epic, for as big of a lawsuit as it's gotten itself into with Apple, seems like is indirectly pushing others in the industry to change their model. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching. As always, you can store.gamersnexus.net if you'd like to pick up one of our mod mats, mouse mats, shirts, or other items. And you can go to patreon.com/gamersnexus, behind-the-scenes videos, and extra Q&A videos for our backers. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. We'll see you all next time.
once the pandemic hit, we had nobody coming into the showroom. So we
You? You're no joke, are you? Come back when you hatch.
Hey, baby. Can't hear you. Hi. Huh? Hi. I'll make some pho. I rearranged my place a little bit. Yeah, you paid it.
Somehow we could put Smoky Smoke on a chair.
I was thinking just that.
Shh. Welcome. You know what you need on your table? The plants on the table.
No, people will accidentally eat them.
Oh. Why did she hit Smoky Smoke for?
Because he keeps accidentally eating the plants. The bare necessity.
Not only is Nick, I mean, also the negative. Currently a post-rock band that have toured all over the globe. Forming in 2012, they've had 4 major releases that have received outpouring of praise with their music industry. It's pretty damn inspiring to personally know someone who's made it as an artist, something so many people strive for with so few. It also begs the question, now that the guy I've known since high school is a literal rock star, why the hell is he streaming live music recordings with a 7-year-old MacBook Pro?
makes me realize that a lot of Nick's music embodies heavy undertone push and frustration, because all the songs he writes were probably about his laptop. We're going to fix that today.
This video is brought to you by the Corsair K65 RGB. 260% mechanical keyboard offers portability with variant switches, dynamic per key RGB backlighting, and PVC double track. Learn more about the Corsair K65 RGB on the link below.
When he's not recording or touring with Night Verses,